they're supporting him too. And there's a second reason. The last few weeks, Torontonians in every neighborhood, and I have the privilege as mayor of going to every neighborhood of this city, have been telling me that they feel the same way I do. That they're appalled by the level of debate in this mayoralty, and they want someone to lead this city who's going to build a great 21st century city for themselves and their families. That's the kind of candidate I want to support. There is only one candidate who can do that and who believes in that, and that's the next mayor, Joe Pantalone.
Mayor, what changed? You said for quite some time you wouldn't be getting involved in the mayoral race other than urging people to vote.
I've been watching the race just like you have, and I'm appalled at the fact that, except for Joe Pantalone, the other candidates all want to tear this city down. They can barely spare a good word about Toronto. You know, cities grow and evolve, and the great cities of the world grow and evolve as the result of smart investments. And there's only one candidate in this race that understands that, that's capable of delivering it, and that talks about that kind of future. And as somebody who lives in this city, let alone the mayor, somebody who's raising his family here, that's the kind of city I want to live in. And Joe Pantalone is the only person who can deliver that kind of city, and that's what changed.
Mayor, I don't think there's a secret here how you feel about Mr. Ford getting in your old chair. Mahevik said today that a vote for Joe is a vote for Ford. What do you think about that?
Well, it's funny. 7 years ago, Councillor Mahevik suggested to me that I should drop out of the race. And he was wrong then. I'm still here. Yes.
One of the most difficult positions you took was passing the vehicle registration and land transfer taxes. And I'm wondering what you think about the fact that your deputy and the person you're endorsing is advocating repealing the vehicle registration tax.
Well, he's running for mayor. Joe and I may not agree on every single issue, but cities grow and evolve. And as deputy mayor, he's helped steer this city, and he thinks in the future it should evolve in a way that relies less on that tax. That's his position. I think Joe Pantalone is a city builder. In fact, I know he is. And there is nobody in this race with a track record of municipal government like Joe Pantalone's, period. There's nobody that's built film studios. There's nobody that's brought jobs to the city. There's nobody that's rejuvenated Exhibition Place. There's nobody that's speaking up for those who have the least. There simply isn't. And we may have a different view on that issue, but that's his prerogative. And I think Joe Pantalone's vision is the kind of vision that the vast majority of Torontonians support. And I can tell you what people are telling me on the streets. They're saying things like, "Oh my gosh." And people are saying, "Who are you supporting?" I get this everywhere. Hundreds and hundreds of people a day. And that's why I'm speaking up, because Joe's the right guy.
So people don't want change. People don't want change?
Sorry?
People don't want change?
People want this city to grow and evolve, but I'll tell you what they want. They want investments in public transit. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And if you live along the Finch line that the Premier deferred, if you live at Jane and Finch or in Rexdale and are working 2 or 3 part-time jobs and are on the buses 2 or 3 hours in the morning and 2 or 3 hours in the evening, you need public transit. You need to be included in this city. You need it built. And Joe Pantalone's the only person speaking to that issue. I could go for dozens. He's the only person speaking to those things, and that's why he's the right person to be the next mayor. Yes?
If Rob Ford's success is based on the fact that it's an ousting of your regime, your lead, how do you think this is going to support Joe, you coming out and supporting him?
Well, you're talking about polls. Polls also say if I ran, I'd win. I mean, who knows what polls mean? I know one thing, and I know what Torontonians tell me, and they tell me every day, because I have the privilege of being the mayor, and people speak to me. They want this city built. They're proud of this city. They love this city. That's why 50% of the people who live here are new Canadians. You know, we're at an English for second language school. We just went in. And people there are really proud to live in this city. They chose it. And they want investments. Joe Pantalone is the only candidate that offers that choice. The others are all saying how bad things are. Well, they're wrong. We have a great city. We need to make certain things better. And Joe's the one who will.
What do you say to the comment that a vote for Joe Pantalone is a vote for Rob Ford? I think Mr. Smitherman said that this morning on camera.
Well, I think people want to vote for something. And you don't vote for somebody because you think they're awful just because they're slightly less awful than somebody else. And that's what I hear on the streets. Right? And I believe if you're running for mayor, you should be able to say what you want to do and the kind of city you want to build, and an inclusive, prosperous, progressive city. Joe Pantalone is the only person who's done that, period. And a vote for Joe Pantalone is a vote for that kind of city. A vote for anybody else is a vote for a very different kind of city, and it's not one that I think Torontonians want to live in.
If I could add something, you know, I've seen public opinion surveys that shows something like 60% of the people in Toronto think that Mayor David Miller has done a good job. 60, there's a yes, there's something like 40% who have a different opinion, but at last I heard 60% is the majority. So and the majority of Torontonians want a city builder, you know, and that's what they had in David Miller, and that's what we're going to get in Joe Pantalone. So let's not focus on the minority, which needs to be respected, needs to be understood, needs to be involved somehow, but at the end of the day, democracy is based on majority opinion.